Jarviskjir the Undying.
Hey! Welcome back. So, you head your way back across the city to
On the way back, before we go anywhere, while that rather serious conversation was going on, because there's a bit of a gap between...
Yeah. There's enough of a gap that they were basically on their own.
Melody is actually going to speak to Vale. Neil, do you want to get up from hiding under the desk?
He's putting away his
I heard
deck.
that you might talk to me, so I hid. No, it was me dropping my commander deck all over the floor.
Okay, so
Want to play a 100-card pickup?
Yeah,
This is me with the ball bearings.
Poor Neil, he got his Magic the Gathering decks out to show us on break, and now he's dropped it.
That's why you don't take your deck out on camera.
Don't take your deck out on
Still everywhere.
Twitch.tv.
I made a mess.
So I'm not sure. Do I wait for him? Do I not?
He can talk.
He can talk. True.
I can sing.
Melody, as there's a bit of a gap between the various groups, Melody just tugs on Vale's sleeve, shoulder, whatever. And
I don't really have much of a sleeve anymore on that.
yeah, exactly. And just
I've
says,
just got this
just
black
says,
armor with a red sash tied around it.
just
Get the
says,
sash.
just says to him quietly, "You are nervous around her. You like her?"
I'm not too sure yet. I like how she looks, and I like some of the things she says. But at the same time, she reminds me a little bit too much of Amelia. Sometimes. I know. No, she's a bit too aloof. Although I am a sun elf, I feel I am fairly down to earth. Let's see what is it? Sun.
Melody nods at that.
I am not sure that ages would go too well, but yes, I am nervous when talking to her because of how I am and how things have progressed. You know, she said certain things to me, Melody, that I will not repeat because I do not think it is appropriate for you to hear these things, but it made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. We never really went that far in the roleplay, me and Gil, so he never mentioned breathing, and it's a little bit new to me. Let's say that, shall we?
Yes, you've said before you want to breed, continue your race.
I
want
don't
children.
think I phrased it quite like that.
Can everyone stop saying the word breeding to me? I don't.
It is very uncomfortable.
People keep saying it.
Sorry,
Why me?
Sorry, you want children, though. Yes.
Yes, yes, I do. Hopefully not for a couple of 100 years, but hopefully at some point, yes. As Ilrune said, I am the youngest sun elf born at the moment, so we better hope that I have children, or well, none of us can afford not to have children. Although I am willing to shirk my duties in terms of being a paladin and all that. But I think continuing my race is perhaps a bit more important.
All creatures produce more of themselves. All have children.
Yes, and he puts an arm around Melody, but not sun elves, and claps her on the shoulder and continues walking.
Melody just frowns and it just says, "If you want help with Ilrune or others, can Melody help? Talk to them?" Melody doesn't know.
I'm sure you can. I talk about as well as you when I am talking to them. Stop it, Dane. So, well, the help would always be useful. I suppose it might be nice to get in touch with an elf's more primal nature.
Melody just gives you a big smile. Melody will help Vale. Just ask.
Awesome. So you travel back to the College of Abjuration. As you do, Haven, I imagine you wait outside because you probably you can't really do anything.
I probably would go there and walk back inside, assuming I could just get in because I've never not been able to.
You would be like stopped from going any further than the main foyer.
Hey, I'm going to Amelia's room.
Amelia's not in right now.
Yeah, but we spend the night in her room. Well, the early morning.
They like a look back and it's like, you did what?
Amelia's room after the ball.
Writes something down.
Oh dear.
Sends it off. Like a bird appears. Puts it in the mouth. The bird flies down the tunnels.
That looks pretty final. Like, oh, okay, the situation's done.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna try to walk again.
You try walking. You walk into the air that suddenly solidifies. Like,
Poof.
if you are waiting for Amelia, you would best wait outside in the cold.
But it's cold out there.
Good evening.
But it is cold out there.
Good evening. Yes.
That's the Hobbit. Good day.
But it's cold out there.
Yes. Well, when you come to Bastillion, you should learn that it is cold. You should have prepared. Good
Oh,
evening.
I have 2 cloaks. Good evening. And then
You're like, oh yeah. Okay.
I'm actually gonna walk over to the side and take a seat somewhere.
If you sit down in the foyer, you aren't troubled, and they don't have any issue with that.
Okay,
It's just trying to go further in, but like hanging out there is fine. When the party comes back, they look a little beat up, a little disheveled, but not like bloody and injured. Melody's clothes are bloody, and they're her nice clothes too.
And we have Quinn up with us.
And Ilrune is with you, who is actually in front.
before.
Ilrune would have gone, stepped back a bit more, and would have been traveling with Vale and Melody. Not necessarily saying much, just sort of traveling with you two, and then there's the others behind.
That's the person I confused for a drow at first, correct?
Yeah. So you
Okay.
recognize her, and you heard Vale talk to her for a while before you excused yourself. And you said like a couple of stuff to her, but I can't remember what it was.
Gilwin, I would appreciate a day to try to get my affairs in order. To see if I can do this properly before I,
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. And I assume you want me to.
To others outside of our group. Not to her. I say, point to the
Okay.
elf. If that's
Okay.
fine.
No, of course.
Glaring at the elf.
Please try and keep a lid on that.
Thank you. Everyone, have a good day. And a good night.
You are.
But okay.
If you all need lodgings for the night, my coin purse does overflow with funds from the Moon Queen. I can easily afford rooms for the 4 of us.
Oh,
Or four,
There is that.
4 of
I'm
you.
sure.
No, counting Amelia.
well.
Obviously.
Now you mentioned coin. I actually saved your life once and helped save it a second time. I can't help kick the habit of being a pirate. I am.
So you can repay him with a drink. Let's go get a drink.
Compensation?
I could use a drink.
Maybe.
I have not been to a drinking hole on this side of the city.
Vale
Well, why
casts
break a
a
streak?
dark look.
I'll put an arm around Vale and be like, don't try and extort people you want to bang.
Look, I owe you money still.
And I imagine you start walking out towards a nearby tavern. You've been to like 2 student taverns already, and now you're gonna go to the student tavern for the College of Abjuration as well, which is great.
I wonder what
Yeah.
it's like.
Bastillion pub crawl.
I
You're
will
doing
actually
a
go
pub
too.
crawl.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Great. Like the one you went for the necromancers, it doesn't have a name or anything.
Ollie,
No,
I
I-
will send a letter, and then probably would have done this prior, like days before, as to whether or not I could leave.
Yeah. So what you do now is be like, I really need a response.
Oh, thank you, please. Can
Yeah.
I go or no?
Please respond.
Yeah. Like, this needs to be done more urgently than I thought.
Yeah.
RSVP immediately.
I could
It's just
look
a
for
single
new
message that just
things,
says, please,
new magic,
please speak.
return to you. Like, you know the whole bit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
So you head to this nearby student tavern. It's actually quite a trendy, a nice place. It's not just a student tavern, but it's a fairly large place on a corner where some travelers go through. You go in to music of a sort of college song that's being sung. It's very inflammatory things about the teachers and the archmages. Just utter rudeness in Infernal. You've heard it before, Amelia. You may have sang it before, at least in the background. It's got actually quite a jovial atmosphere compared to the day you've had. And
What?
it is
We got to kill people.
not that busy because members of the College of Abjuration actually spend most of their time studying, and a lot of people who are here have books with them who aren't singing right now. They have books and things, and when you enter, one of the bartenders would sort of rush over and ask, "What do you want? Food? Do you want drink? What do you need?" Quite the party of you. Will you be wanting wine for the table?
Wine for the table, rooms for the night, and food.
Well, okay.
And since we're buying it all together, why not throw in the wine free?
Give me a persuasion roll. You gotta try. I will give you a little bit of a discount, but that's because, I like seeing people who aren't gonna have their nose glued in books. No offense, Amelia. And goes and it'll be it doesn't matter because he goes to count and goes to give you a number, and then Ilrune just sort of drops a handful of platinum coins in his hand, and he's like, and then heads back and hands you
She
keys.
could have afforded to pay me, you see?
And you sit at the largest table in the place, which is in the back, right under a mounted head of some sort of squid. It's actually a mounted squid. I was gonna say it's a mounted head of a squid monster. You might think that. It's actually just what a squid looks like. You uneducated fiends. But yeah,
I've seen a squid. Can I use it? Can I wild shape into it?
You spend 8 minutes interacting with the beast.
technically,
Nom, nom.
I think technically yes.
Excellent. We're going on a ship. I can transform into a
And
squid.
absorb its power.
Because yeah, you haven't seen anything other than like trout. So
I now have a
I'm
combat.
actually gonna allow this. I'm sorry. I don't want this one. I want this one. So you go down. Food is prepared for you. Drink is handed. It is a mixture of cheeses and breads and a little bit of some kind of roast fowl and stuff like that. And you're given each of you a room key. No doubling up tonight. Even Amelia, even though she doesn't necessarily really need one at all. And you.
Oh shit, we didn't kill that
So,
guy.
Elvrune, why do people want to kill you?
I told you before, though I understand you may have difficulty listening to your elders, but I do not know. I assume it is due to my business in the city. That would be the only logical reason, aside from
Vale
one
is
of those.
quickly
No,
gonna
I
slide this
understand.
holy
I
symbol
just
onto the table and be like, Amelia, have you seen this symbol before?
You have it's the symbol of the. Give me a sec to get the name.
Of course I have.
It is the symbol of the
Have-
Eternal Guide, the lead tiefling
Showed
god.
me at least 3 times.
I have?
Yes, you have.
I showed you?
Yes, 3 times.
Does anyone have any magic for restoring memory? Because I seriously, I cannot recall this.
I recall the symbol.
So I didn't show it to you 3 times.
I recall the symbol.
Well, that gentleman did say things about snuffing out the moon, so religious fury is a possible motive, but I believe it was more him taking joy in his actions, which is unfortunate.
He was bad man.
Yes. But I'm here on business of Velheim, on business of the High Moon Queen, on the most important of business, and if word slipped out on what I was doing, I assume people are against what the Moon Queen wishes done in the city.
Well, 2 people from the College of Illusion have sought to assassinate you, so is there any particular reason why they would have? That you know of?
I do not know. I did
No.
not know the College of Illusions were assassins. But I do
Not
not
all
know
of
much
them.
about your city, and honestly, that is one of the main reasons why I am here, is to learn about what passes for culture.
Now, I don't think that is fair. I agree this is not the best city, but you are really just being picky now. That is rude. All right? I want you both to be civil. I've had enough of this.
Why both? Why am I being...
I
I'm
believe
gonna lean over to
I'm-
Gil and just be like, I'm so
they
confused.
bicker in the background.
It's like, I'm so confused.
With what? How
I
humans are
then-
to each other?
all of that.
It's like you can't say anything. It's like, oh, how am I being? Oh, shit.
Just it's elf stuff.
Can we get a beer over there? Because they're just making this uncomfortable.
Haven. Did you find those manacles that Amelia was very interested in?
You seem busy.
Oh, you went on a
up and
detour
no,
to
I
get...
was
over a
very
table
much
and sit down.
And for the 3rd time now, Vale gives Haven the please don't leave look.
Gets up, goes over, sits down like. Gil, do you join? Humans here,
Melody follows Gale.
separate
Oh!
Melody follows Gale.
I'll just like pat Vale as I walk past.
Awesome. They can bicker and we can have fun.
Haven, I'm very much interested in those manacles. Do you have them?
I'm gonna like look at Gil like
Vale gives a
Haven.
triumphant grin.
I'm just looking at Gil.
Haven,
You don't have the manacles. I'll like mouth that to him.
I nod. Yeah, like I do.
Haven,
I turn around and I say, "Here now."
yes, thank you.
I'm gonna toss them across to. So
They're
they still
big!
have, like, metal on the
Yeah,
table.
they aren't hand, they aren't wrist, they're the entire arm. There's a clunk, like the table full of food, like stuff
I'm gonna grab
flies
the
everywhere.
Gotta
Like
grab the
Ilrune
wine.
actually casts a ward just to stop like a glass, her wine splash on her. It's like the glass tips, like just like, douchey casting of magic.
Yeah, I
So,
can only
Melody-
imagine the look on Amelia's faces.
If you
So tacky.
transform just your arm and we like wrestle them, would you be stronger? And it's like totally like engage in stupid things. Like
You
that.
just have stupid lad drunk conversations
Yeah.
over there. The manacles, Amelia, they land and shoot. Now that you've never seen them before, but in the light, Vale, you can tell that they're a slight greenish. The metal has a slight greenish sheen. Ilrune's like, you collected the manacles, which rendered me of my magic and of my strength.
Yes, indeed. And I will like toss them aside. I don't care about them anymore.
I better go pick those up. And Vale goes and picks them up and then comes back and sits with Gilwyn and Haven.
If you try to sit down, it's one of those like kind of reach the arm out, like this spot's taken. You know what I mean? Like just like ah.
Haven,
Please, don't make me sit with them. Not now.
You know, it seems like you're gonna have to work something out, and if you're all gonna be traveling here, I just don't want to listen to that.
Neither do I. I don't get why they can't get along.
Well, then maybe you should go figure it out. That's kind of your thing.
I think as an elf, I'm not a neutral third party, and I think what it requires would be a human who has the least vested in either of them, which it turns out is you, Haven.
I think that's
true.
Melody.
No, Melody loves Amelia. She would take Amelia's side every time, wouldn't you, Melody?
Oh, I love Amelia too. She's a powerful wizard and really nice.
Amelia is Melody's friend.
Yeah, Haven's too.
I'll go sit back with those two just because I would feel bad in real life if I just left.
Now that Vale's here, I imagine it turns into bets.
Yeah.
Arm wrestling.
While they're gone and while Gilwin's moving back over, it's like, so you are an abjuration wizard.
Indeed.
The light of the moon travels through all wards and magic.
Is that so?
They was like watching this from the other table, like.
Yes, I believe a well-versed abjurist would be aware of this. And then Gilwin comes over and is like, Gilwin Gallagher. Please.
Hi. What are you guys talking about?
If Eravale is not the leader of your traveling party, and the way he speaks of you, like he is a son looking up to his father, does that make you the leader of your traveling group of individuals?
I mean, I'm certainly the most impressive. I'm certainly the most handsome.
I certainly like him more.
I do too.
Guys, come on.
Well, it's true, Vale.
Leader. I think all of us would listen to Amelia more.
Really?
And I don't like you.
I had not noticed this. Well, that is fine. You always must work with individuals of which you do not like. And that is the way of the world.
And what do you think of me?
Vale's gonna hurry over.
She doesn't say anything, she just looks at you.
And what do you think of me? I will repeat after a minute.
We should talk about how I ate Goblin again. Hmm?
Vale?
Yeah?
No.
Oh, just ruined my appetite. Can't even walk away.
I believe you are a powerful wizard. And that is deeply
That is
interesting.
not what I mean. And you know what I mean.
For a split second, her eyes dart to Vale in a motion that you've seen Vale do to other people in no, I actually don't know. It's sort of elf, when elves sort of panic, they're like, oh no.
Oh no. Immediate responses. What does it mean?
I believe you are young and have not yet found your place in the world. But growing up here, that is not a surprise.
What do you think of half-elves?
They are a worthy addition to
Elderburn.
the Solar Guard.
Vale? No.
I have not met an half-elf before. In truth, I have no opinion. It would depend on your parentage.
What do you think of those who have half-elves? Children.
That would be absolutely allowed of them. I know that is the only way that Eravale's race continues.
I know it was a lot of them. What do you think of them? I want an opinion.
I do not have opinion on people's children unless they are the children of the new births of Velheim.
You have no opinion of us or the tieflings here.
I have opinions of the tieflings here, but more of their culture than of their race. I am quite fond of the tieflings of Velheim. They are a very different, more structured people.
Fine.
Fine.
I don't like you.
I believe that has nothing to do with your half-elf parentage.
I didn't say it did. I said I don't like you.
I'm not sure that's fair to draw conclusions quite so soon. Why don't you withhold such a judgment until you...
Erevail, a woman knows.
Fail looks confused.
What does it even mean?
it's like
A woman knows when she doesn't like someone.
looks at Melody, looks at Haven, he's like,
Looks at everyone, looks at the bartender, looks at the squid.
Some of the squid looks back at everyone.
I believe I will retire to my room for the night. Do knock in the morning. And then she stands, brushes off her Quicksilver clothing. There's not a crumb on it. And drifts up the stairs.
Good night.
well, by Ominator, that was awkward.
I appreciate it.
I got the cold treatment from Amelia, right?
I appreciate you heeding my words, Amelia. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Ilrun didn't listen to me either.
Oh,
That sucked.
you support her then?
You're asking me if I support her.
No, I'm talking to Vale.
Okay, good.
Actually, I noted that previously, when I have mentioned things about the moon, you didn't appreciate them, and I suggested perhaps she could.
You have no evidence to support that, Vale. And it's none of your business, to be honest.
Does it matter whether I have evidence? You don't like it when someone says it, and I asked for
Exactly.
her to not
I
say
don't
it.
like it at all.
Yes, so I said perhaps she could not, to make you not feel so upset. There's no need to bite my head off for something she has done. He's gonna grab a bottle of wine and walk off to the bar.
I'm also grandpa. The bar.
It's just Gil sitting there. Elves, huh?
Wow, you really are strong, aren't you? It's really impressive.
Just
Oh,
like-
man.
Just like staring ahead, shaking my head like, this is awful.
So, the next morning, the rooms here are actually rather pleasant. You'll have a nice sleep, nice and warm. Do you gather Ilrun in the morning, Vale, while people prepare for breakfast, which would be but breakfast is like you come down, it's like, oh no, breakfast is complimentary.
Nice.
Your elven friend paid generously enough. It's the least we can do, and you know it's more or less the same sort of thing in the other place, but cooked much better of various blood meats.
Aaron, do I hold on to those manacles since I'm like way stronger?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't care about them after, like, she was like, I cared about them, like, to prove she was a liar. And when she was, they're obviously magical, I didn't care about them at all.
So I don't know that. I'm just gonna put them in a bag.
Yeah.
And there's no metagaming
That's
decision
fine.
for that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Magic.
hey, they're good manacles.
Yeah, magic killing manacles are
They're
always
good.
gonna be all right.
Yeah.
One day we're gonna have to chain down, Melody, and
You mean one day we're gonna have to
Or we
chain
could
down
feed her
Amelia
something.
when she tries to kill a rune?
or chain down a rune so she can enjoy it slowly.
Now,
Maybe we should chain them together.
So,
that they
breakfast!
either-
Everyone wakes up for
in-
breakfast,
in
comes
answer-
downstairs,
in
lovely
answer to
smell
your
of breakfast.
I would,
Why can't we have a conversation about
Where
murdering a
is-
rune?
My
and then I would leave.
for
so that
murdering
I'm
a
not
loon.
coming down with Ilrune.
What was that?
Here's
Sorry,
my
go
case
ahead,
for
Aaron.
murdering a loon. Not literally, but like
Just talking about murder.
in general. But like in general, like not accepting her. Perhaps I am missing some information here. Vale, how would you describe the aptitude of the Sun Elves? Are they all very skilled?
Well,
You were trained to be a paladin, yes? A holy warrior.
yes, I was.
The Moon Elves, who, from my understanding, are equally skilled. if not less, more so, because they are less in number,
Less so.
are equally, if not greater skilled, correct? You're telling me that this woman, who is a moon elf, was overtaken by a single illusionary wizard.
We all
who,
have a
from
bad
my
day.
experience, was mediocre at best, a newly graduate at most, who could not cast a single spell that which I could not overturn.
But,
That's not my finger.
Amelia, I was saved in a fight of might and fury by Gil with a pointy sword. I mean, sometimes you have a bad day.
Very
Sometimes you have a
skilled.
good day.
Surprise.
I'm saying this wizard, this moon elf, was overtaken by a single elf. single tiefling
Surprise
who
is a
could do-
big thing.
Yeah.
Surprise affects battles.
Yeah, you get a bad day.
I'm going to try and like wrap manacles around Melody's hands. Like all of a sudden, I try to like wrap
Your manacles or the manacles?
like a manacle like set.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna like try to surprise her.
Give me
Let's
a
see what
deck save Melody.
I mean, Melody wouldn't resist. That's the thing.
So you like take her by surprise. It's like and she's like, oh.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, because Amelia is doing something. Like, Melody would obviously, like, be a bit surprised, but then it's like, it's Amelia. She's not going to try and resist.
Sister.
And I would say like, look, I could do this against Melody, but anybody else? Vale. What do you think?
What reason would she have for us to want to travel with us?
I don't know, but it seems weird, doesn't it?
Well,
Vale had to convince her to come. She
Well-
maybe didn't want to.
I might have something to do with this, Melody.
I don't think so.
No.
On the topic of moon elves and sun elves, the sun elves are far superior. You know, the solar gods. That's what made Jarviskjir.
You know, you keep saying this. It
I
gets a
don't-
little old.
You know what I keep saying?
I don't like her.
Because every
don't
time I
trust her.
speak, I get interrupted. That's what I
And
say.
this-
But you
Nothing.
say the same thing over and over. I mean,
No
That's
one can
because
say
I've
you
not
say
been able to
nothing.
finish my sentence.
No one is gonna argue that.
Whatever. Stop asking me questions. Sort it out with her on your own.
I don't
I believe
trust her.
that when someone is caught off guard, manacles can be applied. Yes.
Hmm.
And if they are magic-reducing manacles that sap magic and strength, which we have not tested to the degree at which they do, do they have to be locked, or is it just contact with them? Instantly your magic is gone. Ilrune does not look strong to me.
Well, then perhaps they should die out, as nature intended. And I will like clasp like the manacles I had like on Melody, like and put them back in my pocket,
that's rough.
and like walk away. I'm pissed.
Did she just suggest person side? Braco side? What's it called?
Person side, you got it.
Oh, person side.
We should prepare for travel. It will be a long journey.
We're going on a boat.
Yes, but we have to travel by foot or by horse before we get to...
Yeah. Okay.
I believe the horses are still in Northampton.
Yeah, you don't have your horses. They would be
Couldn't take them up
dead.
the mountain path.
They would be so dead.
Super
They are
good.
in Northampton, accruing a tasty
Layer of fat.
cost.
I'm gonna try to engage Melody in a conversation of asking if different groups of humans are the same way about should all other groups of humans die and whatnot.
Absolutely, you can have that horrible conversation, not
Yeah,
in
that'll go
roleplay.
really well.
No. But the funny thing is, I'm asking Melody.
Yeah, exactly.
We get it. There's the joke. Vale, you get Ilrune, I assume.
I already knocked. I knocked.
Oh,
and
but
came down.
I assumed this was happening before that because.
No, when I came down, I knocked. Because
Okay.
I didn't want Amelia... I knocked, and then I came straight down.
Okay,
There
so
was
when
no-
she's finished doing her morning prayers, she comes down and doesn't look any different at all. Seems to be affixing her earrings on properly, the delicate quicksilver earrings that have multiple sort of teardrops that come down, little gems. I was like, well then, you said that you intended to be leaving via the east of the city. That was not my intent, but I would be eager to look over a map and see where we are going.
We have a map.
Good. I would have thought you would have been more cheery about sailing.
We are not sailing yet. We are trudging through, well, I don't know how many miles of snow and ice full of remoras, from what I hear. We should probably pick up some acid arrows.
Alright, so your plan is to go to the unmarked the dock on your map. So basically
Which
just
I
go east.
believe is...
It's more or less just a straight east line.
Oh,
It's that sort of area. It's a little higher up. It's basically a dock of Drakenbral, so it's very close to Drakenbral. But yeah, it's basically you're going more or less east, just in a line, through the ice wastes, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to pick up in a city before you leave? You can pretty much freely shop.
Wax to put in my ears to drown out all the
Now that-
obnoxious bickering.
Is a valid point. Amelia, you do get a letter handed to you by an animal of some
A ferret?
kind. No, isn't a
With
ferret.
spiked up hair.
And it's more or less, we will allow this, but we will watch to make sure you don't go too far.
I will forward that to Gilwyn, and I'll be like, I can go.
Wait,
And
you'll
happy about it.
An animal comes and knocks on the door.
The owl.
It's got its one little hand wrapped up nicely, giving it a wrap.
Yeah,
on the
but
door.
Amelia tells you that she can travel with you, more or less.
I can travel with you.
Does it say for how long?
No.
Okay, so we can just assume indefinitely.
That's optimistic, but yes.
It's not written down. These
I'm
are.
happy about it.
Hmm?
I'm happy about it. I'm sorry. I know that I'm cold.
Well, yeah, we're in Bastillion.
I know that I seem cold.
That's because you are most of the time.
So let me say that I am happy about it.
Maybe try and radiate that happiness to other members of the group.
I think Melody knows.
Melody loves unconditionally.
Vale is harder.
That's because Vale.
Hates unconditionally.
I didn't want to say that because I don't.
I don't think Gilwyn would say that, but he would think about it.
I'm trying.
I don't want to pry, but I mean, she hasn't really done anything personally to us for you to be like this.
Do you know how many moon elves there are in existence?
Maybe you've
Make
scanned
a-
through it in a book.
Make a guess.
Small thousands,
Less.
large hundreds,
Less.
small hundreds,
Less.
hundreds,
Less.
under 100.
Under 100. Choose family. In some way or another, choose family.
So,
I was abandoned. I was sold.
yeah,
She's family.
yeah.
She doesn't care. I know I'm cold, but she doesn't care. So.
Maybe she does. Maybe she's just like you. Maybe she's cold too.
Well, then she has something at least.
Okay, so in the tavern where you're looking over the map, Ilrun has gone over your plans to travel. He's like, "Well, this is a brilliant idea. I have not been to Drakenbral in quite some time, although it is unfortunate, as they are all dead." And she pauses as if it was a joke. But then, of course, Vale does not laugh.
Yeah, genocide.
And then sort of nods like, "I believe this will be a grand journey, and do not worry yourself about the Remoraz. I believe you and your friends could easily handle a young one."
Great. Well, it's a good thing that only the young ones are hungry.
Oh, that is far from true.
That is my point.
Understood. So is there anything else you want to buy in the city before you leave? Because you're basically just ready to go.
Potentially acid
Mako?
arrows, because I was given some advice to that extent.
Yes. I don't know if I have a thing for how much special arrows are. I know
Well,
I
guess they're free.
It's like when you like go to the cashier and it's like, "Well, it won't scan. I guess it's free." No, stop. Don't do that. I definitely have a thing for acid arrows. Give me just 1 second. Is there anyone else wants to buy?
Yes.
We have no gold.
They have
Get some
gold.
potions.
I don't think Melody has a concept of buying.
No, but I did want to give Vale a potion of false life.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
And
I distribute. I have 5 healing potions. I distribute 1 to each party member, apart from Ilrun.
Yeah. She's not really a party member. She's an escort.
Or like when you run off on your own and like try to get yourself killed again. Here you go. It's yours. And it's a tiny little bottle. Like it's smaller than like a potion bottle.
Love it, like the
be.
potion of luck in Harry Potter, like tiny.
Yeah, itty bitty, but black and awful looking.
Thank you. What does it?
Well, do you remember the effects of the Deathless in Lishvale?
No.
How they were so resilient to, dying?
Well, yes, actually, I do remember that.
This will replace that. Or replicate it, in a way.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. For arrows that have a container on the end, that is 20 gold for 10.
I'll get 10.
And you could fill them with some acid for an extra, let's say an extra 10 gold to have them all be acid arrows.
Guess I'll do
It's
that.
it's not cheap. Also, acid is not actually the most abundant element in D&D 5e, so it's pretty valuable.
Can I buy a bottle of whiskey, please?
Yeah, 2
Yes,
gold
that's a good point.
for the good stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
You know what? I will actually also buy liquor for this.
I just love the idea of you buying like a bottle of Jack Daniels and just putting it in your purse. And it's just gone.
Yeah,
I've got some wine on me, actually.
You usually do.
we'll need this.
I usually do. That's true. I hoard alcohol. Other characters hoard gold. I hoard alcohol.
All of Neil's characters have just. Oh, I take out this bottle of wine you named like 10 sessions ago.
The
I
Everglade.
actually have a lot of rope on me that I was using for a rope trick that I will give to Scott's character.
There you go.
I have a rope that was 10 foot long and 30 foot long, just for the spell. So I will actually give these to him.
These are just lengths of rope.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I think you said these are each 10 feet long. There's 2 of them.
One is 10 foot, one is 30 foot.
I now have 190 feet of rope.
There you go.
I'll remember that exact distance. So with
They
you guys,
make a 210-foot drop.
exactly. You guys are ready to leave. You travel through Bastillion to one of the east exits. As you go to leave, there are plenty of Goliath, or Borvar, as they prefer to be called most of the time in their own tongue. Who are like, traveling out into the wilderness, hire me, I'll protect you from the horrors. Like lots of people doing that sort of job. As you travel, I imagine you just sort of
Whoa.
your head.
He already hired me.
You say that like quite loudly, and they're like, all right, yeah, all right.
Goliath
That's
just goes.
Dunk.
All right.
They respect that, and you can leave. You leave the spires of Bastillion and all its magic, and just look out for the first time in the week or so you've been here, and you just remind yourself of the empty, cold waste that you trudged through for several weeks.
Week or so? Week or so?
Oh yeah, I mean you've been here for months. The rest of them have only been here for a week. And you start traveling. You start heading out eastward. Who of you is sort of navigating the party?
It's a combination of Melody and myself, but she's the lead.
Yeah.
So
I'd also-
Melody with
I'd-
advantage.
Yeah.
Melody.
There we go.
Yeah, that's really good. You've already gone through the ice waste before. You're starting to know where to step, where not to step. You're starting to realize areas where the ice is thinner, and when Gilwyn sort of stumbles, and the ice crate cracks and makes that weird sort of almost elasticy noise. Sometimes large amounts of it. You're like, nope, and you just pull him back on safer paths more often as you see a shadow snake under the ice. You're like, this way, and lead them. You're traveling for many nights. The conversation is usually quite sparse. What do you have to say, Neil? Oh shit! You
I'm
cast
sorry,
that at
I have
night?
a spell. I can cast a spell.
It's a dome of safety.
No, don't be mean.
Tiny Hut is a absurd name.
It is a stupid name. I always appreciate
It's a
renames.
stupid name.
Do you let Ilrune in your dome of safety?
Can I? That's why I cast it, so I can see how many creatures can fit into it.
9.
I'm gonna cast 2. So she can have her own.
Well, the horses too, right?
You don't have any
And
horses.
the horses.
You have Tune. Is the only person who bumps your numbers up. Maybe you have your owl with you. But like,
I would actually make, I'd make 2. Like, it's fine.
if you do that, she's like, oh,
There you go.
How come the other one is way more spacey?
I would be happy with that, Haven.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And goes and stays there with Haven. And actually talks with Haven for... does this block sound?
No, we can hear.
No,
you.
it
You
doesn't.
hear...
Actually, it doesn't block sound. It blocks sight. Not sound.
You hear her asking Haven just like a lot of questions. Not like in a prying way, but in like a gossipy way. But like in an elven gossipy way. Like oh, that's interesting. Oh, this means this and this, and imagine Haven is polite enough.
Oh yeah, of course. He also speaks a few languages, so it might be fun if she could speak any of the other ones.
What other languages do you speak?
Dwarven, Terran, and Undercommon.
She would go through this with you, and she would actually know none of those, although some Undercommon. She can like give you a couple of greetings in Undercommon, but she's like, that's very interesting to find languages that I have not learnt. I know many languages.
I'll teach her all. If she's not offended by it, I'll teach her all the cuss words.
having a gossipy.
That isn't the first night, but like a couple nights later, she finds that you actually start to find out that no one else has truly figured out. She's actually got kind of a slightly twisted sense of humor, which Vale noticed, was like, she's just saying some weird stuff. You're starting to realize when she's joking, and when you start teaching her insults, she's like, oh yes, this will be very useful.
That's frightening. Door opened.
Like, brought up a great point in the chat, whereas I can command like what lighting it is, and it's always dark. And
She does not.
We can
She
see
creates
in
her
darkness.
own light source,
Yeah.
like
We
her
can see
own
in
dancing
darkness.
lights, and you can both see in darkness. So your
It's
sass.
actually more comfortable for
it
me.
doesn't matter. Yep.
Oh, this is convenient of her. You know, the sun sometimes hurts a little bit.
I kind of really like what she did here. Thanks, Amelia. Hey, you guys.
home.
Yeah, I continue to do what I do. As far as like alarms go and the
Yeah,
domes go.
I was assuming your normal process. The dome is a nice extra touch. Alarms, you occasionally, like snow hairs and stuff are like, well, here's something different. Sniff, sniff, sniff. But nothing monstrous aside from one time. Let's say you've been traveling a week. You
He's kind of like the rabbits. I try to feed them every now and then, but that's it.
they too skittish usually. Actually, give me an animal handling roll. It's what it's for.
Oh, you could get your owl to
Why
catch
not?
them,
Oh, it's fine.
and we could get some nice rabbit meat for dinner.
I'm saying that that's dinner.
It's
That
important,
is.
kids. Don't eat rabbit for every meal because
You-
you'll get protein poisoning. Not
You
enough
don't-
fat.
that's
I
true.
would try to convince like Melody to teach me how to like
Speak.
approach the rabbits.
Yeah, that's like one of the things you're doing while you're traveling is just trying to get.
Yeah, it's like they're cute.
Yeah, because there's actually areas where you travel where it's not just ice. There's little bits of tufts of grasses and some trees and things, and maybe even like where the ice is actually just water. And you do that as you travel while keeping hold of wards and things, and you mostly feel those sort of wildlives. Vale and Gilwyn, anything you guys doing while you're traveling?
I guess early on in the week, I'd give Amelia the whiskey and she'd be like, that should keep you warm.
The what?
The whiskey that I bought.
Might help warm you up.
Cool.
And then other
It
than
jingles
that-
against the other
I mean-
whiskey bottle as you put it in your purse.
Gilwyn, I do appreciate it, but I'm more acclimated to sweat than you are. But thank you.
Oh,
wanted
you didn't
to
get the
drink with the
meaning.
others?
It was a joke because you say you'd.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's funny. Thank you.
Bam.
All right.
Right in the
And I'll
hand.
walk off.
Oh.
Thank you.
And that's why Gilwyn's sad for the rest of the week of travel.
So in the evenings, Vale would set up his tent inside the dome, and he'd just be like lying on his two-person tent, lying in there on his bedroll, and he'd be like, "Gil, can we talk?"
Mm.
Of course.
He'd be lying in the tent, and he's like, "Why do you think Amelia's reacting like this? I've not done anything wrong."
Amelia's doing her wards outside.
And yet,
Mm.
she's saying that my race deserves to die out. Perhaps that is not the meaning, but that is what I got from it. I thought we were on better terms than that. I mean, we're escorting a very rich moon elf. I mean, this might pay off.
I don't think she's mad at you. I think her anger is spilling out onto you.
I just wish she would at least not be a hypocrite about it. You know, I talked about the moon to her. She said she doesn't like it, so I stopped. I don't like the talk of my race dying out. You know, the other things, cannibalism, being a murdering pirate, I can take those. Those were my choices. But the race, what can I do? Hmm? At this point, he pulls out a bottle of dwarven wine and plonks it in between them.
Maybe you should share that wine with her and have this conversation with her.
Actually, the wine reminds me of Forek. I thought we could share a dwarven beverage. Obviously, not the stuff he liked, but quite frankly, I don't like drinking shit.
Not entirely accurate. It was just cheap.
Anyway, Maybe at one point I will share the beverage, but right now I think it would just be best to avoid her.
Speaking of 4, I do ever think it's. I mean, you've been a pirate, so you're much more used to adventuring than I am. But we've come a long way.
We have indeed. A long way from when we met in Aradia. You know, I have enjoyed this time immensely. It's much nicer than the pirate life, really. I mean, you know, it had its boons, but sometimes I feel like I'm doing real good in the world. You know, we made a difference in Lichvale. That was nice.
Oh, you mean when I saved everybody? Yeah, that was.
Yes.
That was really good. So good when I saved everybody.
Mm-hmm. Still not sure how you did it. I mean, my throat, I felt like
My heroism and my amazing strength. You know, I don't like to brag about it.
No, I can see why. He like pokes your arm.
I'm glad Amelia's with us.
Me too. She's nice, but not quite so much.
Not Ilrune nice though, eh?
I don't think we get along in that way. I mean, maybe, but
So you're telling me that this word means to curse upon someone's mother? That is very useful against a drow elf.
Yeah, I mean, or any elf.
can we hear this?
Yeah, no, that's why I did. You could over. They're not being that quiet.
I was gonna
There's
shrug and
no
be like,
sound barrier.
Yeah.
I was gonna shrug and be like, or maybe she is. I don't know yet. The point is, we won't be, you know, when we get to that port, we will be on our way to Tran. I'm not going to see her again for a long time.
So make the most of it.
You know, you will laugh at this. I always imagined that when I found someone, it would be someone, and I would love them, and they would love me, and we would live together and have children and fade together. I know it sounds stupid for a pirate like me, but
No, it's sweet, but stupid. That's not going to happen.
it's not going to happen.
That's not the way your life works.
Those were Remoras. If I die, take my stuff. I
Yeah,
want you to at least have the Comet Blade.
yeah. Half of it's mine anyway. I paid for the damn thing.
A little bit more than half at the moment.
About that, by the way, don't try and extort people to pay me back, please.
Now. Extortion is getting something you shouldn't get. Although we didn't agree that I would save her for money, I'm fairly certain her life is worth an amount to her, and probably to the person who gave her that money.
Yeah, I don't know. I think friendship's more valuable than coin.
Right.
It's nice to have friends.
I agree with that. But what if I could have friendship and coin?
Kind of sours the mood. Kind of puts a number on it.
Yeah, so if I do bad things, I get gold. But if I do good things, I don't get gold.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. That's the way it works in most games.
I could have...
Sorry.
Bam! Fourth wall gone.
that amazing roleplay. Just
Gone.
retconned all of it. Retconned.
Like, I could have gone down there, killed that assassin, then slit her throat and taken all that platinum off her body.
You
But
slit
this-
her throat.
Yeah, and not that I wanted to, and then I would have got all that platinum. This way I'm nice, but I could still do with like maybe a couple of platinum, just 1 or 2, maybe 4, which is the exact amount I owe you. Now I feel like I've got another Sid. You know, I'm constantly having to pay people in the party.
I wish I got paid.
How about this? I'll grab the bottle and give it to him and be like, why don't you try and gamble with her for a couple of those platinums?
That's not a bad idea. Does anyone have a set of?
As you sort this out, we are going to take our last break.
I have a
Real
set of dice.
Quick. You have. I knew. I was going to say you at least have dice, even if you didn't, because you would have just picked up like a set of dice by now anyway.
We had
so
dice.
we are going
played
to
before.
be right back. I forgot. Amelia is a gambling fiend.
I like
She's got a dirty habit. We'll be back real quick. Bye.